Our community pharmacy accreditation program, exemplary provider for community pharmacy, is based on day-to-day practices in the pharmacy. For years, since the Medicare Modernization Act implementation, most pharmacies only were accredited for this much of their business, meaning the DMEPOS. In creating the community pharmacy program, we're focusing on what you do best and what you're known for throughout your community. Most pharmacies, whether you're in Flatbush Avenue in New York City in Brooklyn, or you're in Sweetwater, Tennessee, you're community leaders because of what you offer the patients in the community. They come to you for advice. We're focusing in on that. We're focusing in on how you counsel your patients, how you follow up with your patients as it relates to medication therapy management, as it relates to immunizations. Are you offering immunizations in your pharmacy to the folks that you serve in your community? Are you doing any other kind of outreach? How are your patients adhering to the medications that are ordered? And how you manage your pharmacy overall, from the time the script comes in to how it's handled, how it's labeled, how it's stored, how it's dispensed. But most importantly, how you help Mrs. McGillicuddy, who lives down the block from you and you've been serving Mrs. McGillicuddy for the past 40 years. That's what community pharmacy is all about. And that's what our accreditation as an exemplary provider focuses in on, what you do best in your community every day. Yes, as a matter of fact, we were one of the initial accreditation organizations that had a specialty pharmacy accreditation program back in the early 2000s. One of the things that we did back then is, including what we do now, is it's part of the umbrella of pharmacy services. So back then, specialty drug was really not the carve-out that it is today. It was incorporated into pharmacy standards that covered specialty, that covered infusion, that covered complex patient management. All of those same things that we look at today in a specialty pharmacy accreditation program were included in the initial program that we offered in the early 2000s. Today, one of the things that you need to understand is when we talk about accreditation for specialty, we're still including universal standards, which cover corporate compliance, administration, HR, equipment management. Other accreditation programs may focus on just the specialty drug and how that's handled. Again, we need to look at the whole picture, because if you're not doing day-to-day operations correctly, what we look at is operational excellence leads to clinical excellence. And that's the best way to look at it for specialty drug as well. Because if you don't have the right personnel that's trained appropriately, that knows how to handle these drugs in a special way, that knows how to follow up with the patient according to the drug manufacturer's protocol, the clinical protocols that are set out with specialty drugs, it's not looking at the whole picture, and you're not going to be successful as a specialty pharmacy. The two most important things about specialty drug pharmacy accreditation are the special handling of the drug itself, which of course is always driven by the drug manufacturer. You know, how it's handled, how it's dispensed, if it needs to be shipped, you know, does it need to be refrigerated? What special handling things are part of the procedure that you need to adhere to? And then what happens with the patient? These patients have complex disease entities. That's why they're getting these specialty drugs. That means that you have to do more follow-up. You have to follow up with the prescriber. There needs to be that continuity of care with the prescriber as well as the drug manufacturer, and what type of measures and data you're collecting to support you as a specialty drug pharmacy. Actually, we have quite a lot that covers the full spectrum of pharmacy. It's all under pharmacy services. So you have community pharmacy, which includes Part B DME. It's just rolled right in. Again, we're focusing on day-to-day practices. It includes non-sterile compounding. You know, some of you you're not really a compounding house, but you do little bits here and there of traditional compounding, like magic mouthwash. We're looking at that as well. And then if you specialize in doing infusion or doing specialty drug and long-term care, I have to say that there's a big growth area in the long-term care arena. Whether you have long-term care facilities such as skilled nursing facilities, assisted living, board and care, group homes, this is all incorporated into the long-term care standards and what you need to do to comply with those standards. Overall, under pharmacy, we cover the entire pharmacy space. And one of the things moving forward is the addition of patient-centered medical home, connecting the primary care provider to the community pharmacy and actually communicating in that continuity of care aspect of providing care in your community.